And if your layout only looks good on a desktop, that's my English, and a desktop. Hello everyone, welcome back to the channel. It's your boy Finay. Today I want to talk about web design, not just tools but how to think about design. I'm gonna walk through some of the free AI tools you can use, how to frame a website layouts, how to choose animation depending on the type of business, and some beginner mistakes that can completely ruin a website if you're not careful. A lot of people think web design is just making something look nice, but a good design is about communication. When someone lands on your website, they should immediately understand who you are and what you do and what action they should take next. So the website will allow the user to understand what the product is, right? So let's start with one of the tools that I like. One of the most powerful and most useful tools, very common, is Figma, right? Figma is a design platform, right? You can create layouts before writing any code. You can design buttons, navigation bars, landing page, invent full product interfaces. What I personally like about Figma is that it allows you to think about structure before development instead of jumping straight into code and fixing things later. You can visually organize everything first. Now, something that has changed web design recently is that the use of AI tools. For example, Uizard is a tool that can turn simple sketches or prompt into UI layouts. You can literally describe a website and idea and get starting design within seconds. But one of the reasons why I always advise developers and coders to use Figma is because before you even start coding, you already have a plan ahead, right? So a lot of people that are currently using AI tools, what they don't understand is they don't have a plan ahead, and then the AI will build them something that they did not request for. So have a layout, which you can do with Figma. You create your own layout, you create your own design, and then you continue with the Figma. We continue with the coding. Another helpful tool is Framer. Framer allows you to design, Framer allows you to design and publish interactive websites, right? Let's say it has built-in animation and components. It's it usually uses, if it's especially useful, let's say if you're creating a landing page or a product website. If you are working with images or graphic, Canva is another accessible option, especially if you're on a budget. Canva has AI features that help generate graphic. You can remove backgrounds, you can create design elements, you can integrate it into your website. These tools are powerful, but it's important to understand that AI shouldn't be your entire thing. That AI shouldn't be your full product, right? AI should help you with your creativity and not replace how you think, what the humanity of it. That's why when you go on a website that was entirely built by AI, a developer can tell, right? Because there's certain things missing. The real value comes from how you organize the layouts and the user experience, how the user experience your website. That brings us now to a framing website. Every website should follow a clear structure, right? The first thing users see is called the hero section, and this is the top part of the page. It should include a strong headline, a short description, and usually call to action button. So the hero section allows the user to be oh, this is what I'm seeing right now. This is something that I need. Okay, this is the website. This is everything that encompasses the product, right? So that's what it is. For example, if you're designing a website for, let's say, a restaurant, right? The hero section might show an image of the food, right? So, and then the restaurant name, right? And then kind of a button that says, hey, view the menu or reserve a table. So it gives that hero section in the website that, Below that, you usually would move into a section that's that builds trust with the user, right? So most likely we're using the F structure, which is more attractive to certain people. So below, you will include let's say the services, right? The testimonials or example of previous work that whatever the company has done, right? That way the user has some form of trust. You're building that trust with the user, right? Then towards the end of the page, you've got the user towards another action that could be contacting the business, right? Let's say you are building a website for someone or yourself, right? You want to create a page that says, hey, you can contact the business, you can contact, you can schedule a consultation, or you can purchase a product. So that's like one of the sections as well. A good website is really about like guiding the user through, like, I'm guessing, through like a story, right? You know, you go into that process. Hey, this is this. You see the menu. You can go do this. You can contact the restaurant. You can call for reserve a table for your restaurant. That's just like an example, right? And then let's talk about animation. Okay, like animation, like should match, like I think animation should match the type of business that the website is being built, right? For example, if you like designing a website for, let's say, like a creative agency, right, or a tech startup, right, like it would be like more modern, right? Like a more modern animation, you could have like quick, like, wow, you know, like bringing the eyes of the user to wow, the wow factor, right? So like we're talking about like a little smooth transition, like subtle, like hover effects, and even interactive elements can make like it feels like a little bit dynamic, right? But if you're building a website, let's say you're building a website for like a law firm, you're building a website for a medical clinic or a financial service, right? The design should be calm. It should be professional, right? Too many animations sometimes, like if you build it for something like a law firm, will look and feel, right, untrustworthy to the user, right? Another example would be like an e-commerce website. For online stores, animation are used to highlight the product. Let's say you have a product, it's very useful to have animation, right? Things like image zoom, right? You zoom in into the image, right? You have like a smooth product transition, so you have like one product and then go into the other one. It makes it look nice, right? One of the things sometimes like you can use, like you could put like a 3D animation, and it makes the design look so so gorgeous, so beautiful, right? And you know, store animation can help improve the user experience, the shopping experience. The key idea is like, you know, animations to support usability, right? Not distract from it. So like, and this goes for background design, this goes for any form of design that somebody's trying to do, right? It should be like, hey, this is the focus of the website, right? It shouldn't distract the user from focusing on what the website has been built for, right? Like one of the things that we can also talk about, right? It's like the biggest beginner, I would say the biggest beginner mistake, right? Most beginners make this mistake, and I myself I've suffered from that as well, right? It's like clutter, right? A lot of like new designers try to add like too many colors, too many fonts, too many elements on the website. You know, you're using sans-serif, you're using script. It just doesn't look nice, right? Instead of looking creative, it ends up like looking like chaotic, right? You just make like a mess. It just look messy. A good rule like is to limit yourself to like 2 or 3 fonts, right? And like a constant color palette, all right? The second mistake I would say a lot of users make is they ignore that the website is also going to be used for mobile, right? So like let's say like today, like a huge percentage of users visit websites from their phone, and if your layout only looks good on a desktop, that's my English, and a desktop screen, all right, you're losing a lot of potential visitors. So you got to always check how your website behaves on a smaller screen. And the third mistake, this is me right here. The third mistake will have to be like how slow the website is. So like you put like a large images or unnecessary scripts, and poorly optimizing code can make a website load slowly. If a page takes too long, right? Many visitors, like if the page is like loading, like somebody else will leave the page. The user will leave the page, right? So one of the things that's very important in designing is like performance. So you cannot like just focus in on, hey, you know what, I'm gonna put this image, is so big, and then it takes too long to load. So large images, unnecessary script, and like poorly optimized code, like it creates too much, right? So it messes up with the performance. So make sure like the website is performing properly. Another mistake beginner makes is not thinking about the user flow. Every page should have a clear purpose. Ask yourself what you want the user to do when they arrive. Do you want them to sign up, book a service, read information, or buy something? All right, so you have to have a clear idea of what the website is for. Right? Once you understand that goal, you design the layout to guide users towards it. And then finally, one piece of advice I always give people learning web design is to study real websites. Look at websites from successful companies, analyze how they structure their pages, pay attention to like spacing, typography, color balance, how information is being organized on the website. I'm talking about information. I'm talking about like where is the description? Why is it structured like this? Right? Design is a skill that improves observation and practice. If you are starting out, try with building simple website as practice. This helps you like understand layout systems, responsive design, and visual hierarchy. All right. So web design is one of the most, like I would say, one of the most like important thing when it comes to tech today, because every business needs an online presence, right? Every company, every business, they need an online presence. And the better you become at designing experiences that people actually enjoy, the more valuable your skill set becomes. If you find this video helpful, as I say, if you learn something new, and if you find this video helpful, make sure to like the video and subscribe for more content about technology, development, and practical tools you can start using today. Also, let me know in the comments, man, what web design tools you use, what you are currently learning. And then once again, thanks for watching. I'll see you in the next video. Bow.